What's going on, guys? TKD 1, 2, 3 back in with an album review of the week. We usually do on the channel every Sunday. We do an album review as per weekly deal. And we took a little hiatus because I had a couple things going on. I had a vacation that went on, and beside the point, we are back here with an album that I checked out a little bit before the vacation and a lot during the vacation, and it really was a nice album to really just kind of really delve into and really kind of just find a lot of time. And I find myself a lot of times like going back to it, not even because I had to review it, just because I thoroughly enjoyed this project. And it's by an artist that I have been aware of for a couple months now, here and there, but I've not given herself a chance. And she goes by the name of SZA, or SZA. I don't know how you want to say her name. I'm going to say it probably SZA from this video out. I don't know if it's exactly how it's said. I have no idea. But we're going to be reviewing her album Control. And I got recommended this a few times here and there, and this is one of these albums, right? This is the same kind of feeling I felt with Travis Scott, with giving Travis Scott a fair shake and a fair try at an album of his, because like historically, if you were to have a talk with Kevin like 2 years ago about music, right, and just ask his thoughts on Travis Scott, or ask his thoughts on really any other kind of trap rapper, like if you will, like if you want to call it that, right? Even to an extent, even Future, right? If you were to ask him, hey, yo, how do you feel about these artists? I would have said, no, that's not my thing. I don't really like trap, honestly. And then we go fast forward to now, when Travis Scott was my album of the year and stuff like that. And it is basically what I'm saying here is that it is an album that I feel bad sleeping on, and I feel bad sleeping on the artist as well. Not even just in terms of the album. SZA is amazing. This chick is an absolute incredible artist. She is for sure on my radar. Listen, I keep artists, if I love and adore them, they go on kind of my radar list, where it's like I am looking like a hawk for anything they put out, any music, any EP, any albums. I am, I know the release date of them. Like I'm well aware if they're about to drop, right? And it's a few people, right? But SZA is definitely on that list now. This album's incredible. Now we have some pretty cool features here, and I'm gonna go into a little more kind of like how they did, but just to name some features. We got Travis Scott, of course, on track 2, and then right after that, on track 3, we have Kendrick Lamar. So that's a great start to the features. And then we have James Fauntleroy, who he is a very good producer, and I feel like he's done a few things that involve him and his voice here and there and stuff like that. And here is another example. But I'm really hoping for a solo album for him, because he is a great artist as well, and I hope that he can get a solo album out in the coming years. But he is on this album as well, so definitely nice to see him on there. And then we have a new guy here that goes by the name of Isaiah Rashad, and I've never heard of him, and he does a pretty okay feature. Like, it wasn't really the most flashy thing. And the thing is that in this project, right, the features don't stand out at all, right? And that's not at the fault of them. That's not the fault that they had a bad feature. That's not the fault that they had just an overall bad performance. It's really not their fault at all. It is just how good SZA stands out and how good she does in her music ability and her singing ability overall in this entire project. So the whole album, basically is kind of, it kind of follows a phone call, with her and her mother, and they are talking about the aspect of control, right? And like what it means to be controlled, what it means, in a bad connotation of like how control can be bad for a person, and kind of, their definition of control, right? And it's a very deep thing there. And it's not the most prominent kind of I'd say it's not the most prominent story, right? It's a story to call it that, because it's literally just a phone call, right? So it's not really like a full in-depth big shot I decided storyline. It's just just more of just like a nice kind of interactive theme, if you will. Like not so much a theme where we see here and there with albums that have like one cohesive theme. It's a little bit more than that, but it's not as much as a full-on story, what I'm saying? So it's a little bit more different. It's kind of a nice thing to have there. It's not like the biggest grab to me. It's not the biggest attention grabber, honestly, in my opinion. But overall, it is a great kind of thing to have within the entire project. And just talk about some of the tracks here. I'm not gonna talk about every track here, but I'll just bring up some of my highlights here. Supermodel, the intro track, is just beautiful, man. Like, it is arguably one of my favorites. Arguably is my favorite song in the whole thing. I just love the thing that I want to really hone in on, right, the old TKD theme here for this review, right, is that SZA is very honest in this entire project. She's very open, she's very honest, and she does not hold back at all in this project, right? And you can hear it, you can see it, and you can feel it in the way she, you know, portrays certain lines, the way she says certain things, the way she sounds overall. Like, she is very, very brutally honest with herself, with those around her that she's talking about with here in this whole entire project. And it's very, very refreshing, because it's almost like I'm, you know, sitting down and I'm talking to this person, right? Like, it's almost like I'm having a conversation with her about, you know, what she feels about herself, what she feels about other people in her life, what she feels about her man, what she feels about her ex and stuff like that. Like there's such a brutal honesty to this whole thing that it just makes it feel so natural and so inviting, and just such a memorable album, right? That's the thing here, is that like she gets so personal in this thing that it just sticks with you, and you want to come back to it, and you want to keep coming back to it, and keep having that dialogue, keep having that conversation with this very, very natural and honest person. Then we go on to The Weeknd, which is a very, very nice, you know, funny, witty track about how, you know, she's basically, you know, really holding on to the title of being a side chick in a way, where, you know, this man's main girl has, you know, has her Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but then come around the weekend, it's SZA's turn. So it's very, very cool to have that kind of side chick thing in there. And then we have the track right after, which is Go Gina, right? And the instrumentals on that are very, very cool. I love the instrumentals on a lot of things. Predominantly, the two songs that, you know, have the best instrumentals are Go Gina and a track I'm gonna talk about a little bit later, but overall I like Go Gina as well. That's one of kind of the highlights I feel of it. It's very, very wavy. You know, it's a nice wavy, kind of relaxed, laid back song. I love it. And then we have the track Anything here, which has instrumentals that sound like they were from like accidents in the studio, right? Like where we have, sometimes when you have that, you know, sound with your headphones, right, where you bang them up against the side of your device sometimes, like in the port, it makes it like sound like she uses that in the instrumental, and it just sounds great overall. So definitely love that stuff, you know, to a full. And then, you know, towards the end it gets more and more sad progressively, and I feel like overall kind of the level of quality of tracks are very, very streamlined, right? Are very, very, you know, pretty much, you know, streamlined. But towards the end it gets really, really gritty and really, really raw, especially with tracks like Normal Girl, Pretty Birds, which is a little bit of, I feel like, a callback to Jhené Aiko's song about that, stuff like that. So I feel like that's also gonna have a little callback to Jhené Aiko in a way. And then we have the end track, which is 20 Something, which is her kind of, it's basically not so much her being honest about like herself, but honest about her fears, right? And it's just a great, it's just like, I don't know how to properly explain how much I enjoyed this album. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very, very rare for me to like love an artist off of one project, and to feel like attached to an artist after one project, and to feel like I know this person after one project, right? As opposed to like Weeknd, where, you know, we had the 3 earlier mixtapes of The Weeknd, right, that really gave you a very, very good kind of scope of, you know, the man behind the music, right? To a degree, of course, you know what I'm saying? We don't know the full thing, but, you know, like, to a degree, right? But with this project, it really does feel like it's just great. Like, it's great. I love the way she says some of the things. I love the things that are being talked about. It is just overall an amazing album. So yeah, overall I definitely recommend this album by SZA. It is absolutely great. Thoroughly enjoyed it, guys, and you know, I highly obviously recommend it. So definitely go check it out on streaming services, and, you know, if you want to purchase it, go ahead and purchase it. And that's all I got to say. If y'all enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share down below. I appreciate all the feedback you guys give me. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.